June 13, 1943, 2:03 hours, 40 miles northwest of La Pallas, Bay of Biscay. Wind stacks the Atlantic into black ribs under a moonless lid. On the conning tower of UXXX, Oberleutnant Zur C. Heinrich Vogel cups his hands around a battered Zeiss binocular and breathes diesel, salt, and the metallic taint of batteries still cooling below. The boat rides high, ballast trimmed to charge hard and run for night. Until now, has been a kind of truce. The bridge watch mutters in thick scarves, spray stinging their cheeks. Somewhere aft a petty officer laughs once, soft, at nothing. 2,000 feet overhead, a Royal Air Force Vickers Wellington of 172 Squadron ghosts down its glide. The pilot, Flight Lieutenant Arthur McAllister, trims nose low. The slipstream fingers the fabric skin. In the right seat, Pilot Officer John Collins licks a thumb and smooths the dog-eared page of his kneeboard. Behind them, Radar Operator Sergeant Colin Hughes hunches over the ASV set, green trace shivering. The PPI tube winking at each sweep. Contact, range 7 miles. Bearing green 15, Hughes says, voice flattened by intercom wool. The navigator, Sergeant Eddie Price, draws a thin pencil line across a chart that smells faintly of salt even up here. Turn on to 210. Keep her blacked out. They know the routine like a catechism. ASVMK 3 brings them close without broadcasting to the German Metox. Close is quiet, close is surprise. Close is when the light earns its name. Down on the conning tower, Vogel hears it first not as a sound but as a subtraction. The sea's chatter narrows, gulls and engine throbs seem to step back from him. He glances port, then starboard, the skins of his eyes feeling raw. Rue, he says, quiet. He cannot see what his nerves insist is there. Range 1.8, Hughes says. He's still on the surface. The depth charge Ame crawls onto the prone side blister. Hands steady from repetition, not courage. 4 cans hang from the racks. Noses safety pinned. Fuses clicked to S, shallow. The lee lights control box sits like a relic bolted to the belly truss. A coal stove glow of readiness behind a red guard switch. Visual? Collins asks. Nothing. Price answers. Because the night is a varnish. McAllister brings the throttles up just a shade. The Wellington's Bristol Pegasus engines answer with a deepening growl that the sea tries to eat and can't. Air creeps under the wings. The altimeter unwinds. Hughes' voice is a metronome. 1.3, 1.0, 8/10. Skipper, he's right under our nose. On UXXX, a lookout lifts a mittened hand. Gerausch, something. He cannot name it. Vogel opens his mouth to order a crash dive. But the word hangs like frost. The engineer's mate is already half turned. Hand at the diving alarm. McAllister thumbs his mic. Standby, light on. His glove flicks the guard up. He throws the red switch. Night dies. A white sun detonates under the Wellington's chin. A 22 million candela arc drawn in one unbroken blade of light across the Atlantic. Spray turns to silver wire. Every bolt head on the U-boat's casing leaps into relief. Every drop on Vogel's lashes becomes a bead of glass. For a heartbeat the world is a postcard, cruelly sharp. Indecently clear. Then it moves. Leon, steady. Collins barks, shading his eyes and riding the yoke. The beam pins the U-boat like a pinned moth. The boat's shadow skates black and frantic along the white water. Vogel's voice returns in a shredded shout. Alarm! Alarm! Tauchen! Tau! The diving klaxon howls. Men vault down the tower hatch. The helmsman slaps the planes to dive. Diesel coughs, starves. Then the heavy, hopeful whine of the electric motors claws at the sea. Drop, McAllister says, and the Ame squeezes. 4 depth charges kick free. Tails spinning, fuses armed. The Wellington bucks light as if shrugging off a weight of fear. The first can punches the surface inside the lee light's cone, an obscene, delicate splash, and then the sea rips open. A geyser heaves. A second plume fists up beside it. Concussion slams the aircraft's belly like a thrown door. Hold her, Collins grunts, teeth gritted, instruments blur. The beam shakes but does not let go. Below, the pressure wave crushes the U-boat's nose. Throws men from ladders. Smashes a gauge glass that knifes a machinist's hand. Lights wink and return in a stutter. Vogel gulps air that smells of ozone and panic. Octare Zelen. Trim. The boat answers sullenly, like a horse refusing the bit. Somewhere, a valve screams as it is spun too fast. The bow bites down. Stern lifts like it's ashamed. The third and fourth charges detonate, straddling the swirl where the conning tower just was. The sea, having pretended to be stone, remembers how to be water and collapses into itself. Hissing. Contact lost in the wash. Hughes says, voice too calm to be entirely human. Hold course, skipper. He'll try to break out aft. The lee light sides, hunting the sin that hid in night and found itself named. Price marks another line on the chart with hands he does not watch shake. Collins rides the turbulence as if it were a living thing that can be soothed. They do not see the wound they made, no white oil. No torn timber. Only the boil and the yawing black cross of the U-boat, wake lurching hard starboard. Then vanishing into bruised water. The light burns a hole in the dark big enough to breathe in. 3 oceans away, months from now, a Japanese petty officer on an I-class submarine will read a translated Coastal Command bulletin and chew the paper edge with his teeth. Allied aircraft, light like day. He will murmur, half to the sea, half to the ghost of safety that used to live after sunset. But on this night it is a German curse that scours the light. And British laughter, shocked, relieved, alive. That warms an unheated cockpit. McAllister keeps the beam on for 10 more countable seconds. Then thumbs it dark. The night slams back, but it is a different night now. A night that has learned a new word. Home on bearing, he says, voice gone hoarse. The Wellington rolls left, the Atlantic uncoiling under its wingtip. Behind them, the ocean tries to sew itself shut.